just in.
All the gossip. The Rumor Report. With Angela Yee.
It's the Rumor Report.
The Breakfast Club.
All right, American Music Awards. The nominees have been announced. And by the way, the AMAs are voted entirely by fans. So nominees are based on key fan interactions. That's reflected on the Billboard charts. That includes streaming, album and song sales, radio airplay, and tour grosses. Measurements are then tracked by Billboard, and the eligibility period is from September 24th, 2021 through September 22nd, 2022. So it's up to y'all who actually wins. Bad Bunny is on top of the nominations with 8 nominations, and Beyonce and Taylor Swift are the most nominated female artists with 6 nominations each. Now, let's talk about a couple of the categories. Favorite male hip-hop artist: Drake, Future, Kendrick Lamar, Lil Baby, or Lil Durk? Favorite male hip-hop artist.
Say it again now.
Drake, Future, Kendrick, Lil Baby, or Lil Durk?
For me, the past year, it would be between Kendrick and Future.
Lil Baby put out a lot too this year, right? Didn't he?
Lil Baby album just came out today.
No, but he's had a lot of music on. He's been on top of the charts for a minute.
I think Future has the highest selling rap album of the year, right? I think.
Does
He did at one point.
Or was it Kendrick?
No, Future had it at one point. I don't know if Kendrick has surpassed him, but for me, it would be between Kendrick and Future. My personal favorite album out of all of those was Kendrick's this year.
All right, now favorite female hip-hop artists: Cardi B, Glorilla, Latto, Megan Thee Stallion, or Nicki Minaj?
I'm not trying to be funny. For me, it would be between Latto and Nicki Minaj. It'd be between one of those two individuals.
Yeah.
But they had huge records. I think Glorilla record is still growing. It feels kind of early for Glorilla. Right?
Yeah.
Latto,
for me,
Latto had the number one record
that's
across
what I'm
all
saying.
platforms.
But Super Freaky Girl was number one too. So for me, it would be between Latto and Nicki Minaj.
All right, well, speaking of Latto and Nicki Minaj is calling out the Grammys for moving Super Freaky Girl from the rap to the pop category. And she also says that things are unfair, and she feels like she's being treated unfairly.
They must move the goalpost for me all the time. Even Drake spoke up on this when he was like, why am I winning award for Hotline Bling? You know, and he did the right thing. To me, that's what you're supposed to do as an artist. If you know something is unfair as an artist, speak on it. So Big Energy is rap, but Super Freaky Girl is pop. Now, if you say both of them are pop, I would say, okay, fine, because I'm all about being fair. Same producers on both songs, by the way, if you want to talk about it. Even when I'm rapping on a pop track, I still out rap.
Yeah, that's a weird thing, right? Like, should Super Freaky Girl be in the rap or the pop? I would think rap category.
It's a rap.
You know
It's
what?
A rap category.
That's just not a Nicki thing, though. That's just what happens when rap becomes mainstream, and rap is considered popular music, and Nicki is a super popular artist. Not saying she's a pop artist, but you know, pop is just short for popular. So I think when you're dealing with those award shows like the AMAs, they don't know culture. So all they see is Nicki, and they look at Nicki and they say, oh, she's super popular, so they put her in the pop category.
Nicki's a rapper.
Latto's new, so they're like, okay, put Latto in the rap category.
Latto's a rapper.
Nicki posted, I have no problem being moved out the rap category as long as we are all being treated fairly. If Super Freaky Girl has to be moved out of rap, then so does Big Energy. Anyone who says different is simply a Nicki hater or a troll. I'd actually love to see a more street record win, male or female. I'm just saying right is right. Here's what else she has to say about these categories being designed on purpose.
What do you think is gonna happen when they start voting on these pop categories and they have to decide between Nicki Minaj and Harry Styles or Nicki Minaj and Adele? That's
true.
Purposely designed so that Nicki is not in the category that we don't want any competition in. Put her in there so she has more and less of a chance to win.
That's true.
Black women rarely, even though we're the most powerful group on the planet, a lot of times we don't speak up until it's too late. How you don't see what's happening.
Nicki and Latto are rappers. They should be in the rap category.
I would love to hear what the Grammys has to say about this.
I feel like Nicki's just a victim of her own success because she's so big. So, like, when they look at her, they do look at her as a big popular artist. So they put her in there with the Harry Styles and the Taylor Swift. But to her point, you know, that gives her less of a chance to win those categories.
But I don't look at it. I don't consider. You can't compare Sam Smith and Ed Sheeran to Nicki Minaj. It's totally two different things.
I'm not talking about musically. I'm just talking about the way mainstream America looks at them as big, popular music stars.
Latto posted, damn, I can't win for losing all these awards noms. I can't even celebrate. And Nicki Minaj then responded, this Karen has probably mentioned my name in over 100 interviews, says she waited in line for Pink Friday with her Barbie chain on, bangs pink hair, but today Scratch Off decides to be silent rather than speak up for the black woman she called her biggest inspiration. Latto responded, first of all, I texted you because I didn't want to do the internet with someone I looked up to, just like the first time I DM'd you asking about your ongoing subtweets. I wanted to speak up because, like I said, I do agree, but the way you're going about it seems malicious, especially after how we left off. I've ignored countless subtweets since March and instead addressed you in the DM. You're asking why I didn't speak up in your defense. It's the same answer I gave you when you asked why I didn't congratulate you. You're literally older than my mom, trying to be a bully at Nicki Minaj. And then Nicki said, all this time I thought she was at least 35. Latto responded, the most recent subtweet in question, but I'm finna to start from the beginning, 40-year-old bully. And so a lot of different things was going on between them. Now here's what Nicki had to say about an agenda.
There is an agenda because I am not signed to a 360. And for many years, there was a certain label that had to pay me non-stop for their features. So if we're going to talk about it, I'm going to talk about it. And by the way, this is not to say any song is bad or any female rapper is bad. I think, and I always say this, any rapper, female or male, that wins a Grammy, you should be fucking proud of it. Soon, female rap will really not have any black women.
All right, now Nicki also referenced Latto talking about age shaming. She said, age shaming when you look like you're the one pushing 40, age shaming, but was begging for a feature. Imagine what them jeans gonna do in 10 years.
Where did this go?
Yeah.
Where did this go and why? I understand what Nicki is saying about the award show. She's got a million points with that, but all that stuff with Latto was silly. Nicki had a great point, and she could have proved that point without even bringing Latto into it in the first place. And I don't see the point of any of this. And
then she showed her DM conversations with Latto as well, with
silly.
Latto asking for a feature. And Latto said, this lady's so meticulous with her shade so she can twist it later and act like it wasn't about you. Stand on that ish. I literally named you as my dream collab multiple times in multiple interviews. Like I told you, I looked up to you. You still never answered my question about where the random shade started coming from.
That whole back and forth is silly. Latto isn't obligated to congratulate her or speak up for Nicki. And also, it distracts from Nicki's larger point about the award show, which is a great point. Those points she was making about the AMAs were great points, but now we're sitting around talking about, two women going back and forth on social media for what? And
I hate it.
We forgot what she actually, started the conversation about.
Yeah, it went on and on and on from there. And then later on, we'll talk about the phone conversation that the two of them had as well. I'm really hoping they can squash this. It seems like it was a larger conversation, and then maybe there were some personal things that got brought up in the midst of all this. And again,
all that
just
energy,
like we had a conversation about social media earlier, it does fuel arguments more than anything, because sometimes things get taken out of context on social media, or you might read it a certain way that it wasn't meant to be that way, and you interpret it that way, and
all
people
respond,
and then it ends up being forever. Then everybody weighs in, and the situation snowballs even more.
All that energy should have been for the AMAs.
All that big energy?
That's it. All that energy should have been for the AMAs. Like, there was no need for all that energy to be between Nicki Minaj and Latto.
All right, well, that is your rumor report.
Charlamagne, who you giving that donkey to, bro?
Oh, man, 4 after the hour. It has really been an amazing week for racism. Okay? I mean, amazing week for racism. And we're going to continue that amazing racism competition that seems to be happening this week with a new contestant who goes by the name of Drew Lauder. He's the former president of iHeartMedia Atlanta. He needs to come to the front of the congregation. We'd like to have a word with him.
Let's go!